As Christians, we're called to share the good news. The good news being Jesus. God became man. God died because he loves you. And sometimes that's really easy, and sometimes it's not. Ezekiel, the great prophet from the first reading, was told by God, okay, I need you to go tell people about me, but they're going to rebel against everything you're going to say. They really want very little to do with me whatsoever, but have fun. Go ahead. And so when we think about kind of going out of our comfort zone to share the good news of Jesus, a little fear can rise up. A little fear of awkwardness or rejection. When I was in high school, I went to Campbellsville, Kentucky, a small town in Kentucky, on a mission trip with some high school buddies. And I said, well, what are we going to do when we get down there? And they said, well, we'll do some farm work, we'll paint some stuff, and we'll go door to door and ask people if they have any prayer intentions and if they want to pray with us. And I said, okay. Farming, great. Painting, I'm all about it. Door to door, I don't think so. But we got down there and, we're just walking down the street. So we just knock on the door, huh? Yeah, okay. So I go up and knock on the door, and a lady comes, and we just explain we're Catholic high school students. We're here on mission trip. And the backstory, the town was only 1% Catholic. So to run into a Catholic was kind of odd. So she says, yeah, I heard the knock on the door and I thought the Jehovah's Witnesses were here, but then you were wearing shorts and I knew there was something else going on. So we asked her, is there anything we can pray for? And she says yes. And we prayed with her, and it was a beautiful encounter. Absolutely awesome. And so I'm all jazzed up about the faith, like, I'm sharing the gospel. Fast forward a couple years, I joined the seminary, and I'm loving school and loving the faith, and I'm really living it. And I come home for a family party, and, I'm wearing the priesty clothes, and the family's a little kind of apprehensive about the whole thing. And one of my relatives, who will not be named, started making comments about, so how's that whole, seminary thing going? Really well, actually. Living in community, we get to pray all day, we get up at 6:30, it's awesome, just throwing out the daily schedule. And she just said, it's kind of a phase, right? Like this, you're not going to stick around in this for the long haul, are you? And so immediately it was just have that bubble burst where it's just like, I was so excited to come share the good news. Not just, the gospel verbatim, but to share the fact that the gospel had impacted my life. And so, random person in the middle of Kentucky, successful mission. Christmas party, a little more difficult. But the beautiful thing is Jesus understands that feeling of being rejected in his hometown amongst his own people. And so we have to look, what did Jesus do? How did he handle it? Well, he felt bad for them and their lack of faith, but he didn't run, and he didn't shy away from the fact that he was Jesus. He didn't do great mighty deeds because the people weren't open for it, but he laid hands on them and a few sick people were healed. And so St. Paul tells us that the Lord's grace is sufficient. So God gives us everything that we need to spread the good news. But what does that look like practically? Well, you stand right where you are. You fix your eyes on the Lord. You trust in his grace. And amidst all the pressures and the rejection, allow yourself to sink back on the consolation that whether received or not by those we love, Jesus is still God, and he's still incredibly present.